This is the Medieval Content Channel. It's no secret if you listen to the podcast or the previous video essay that I am part of a reenactment group that focuses on highly anachronistic takes of historical scenarios. Effectively, imagine inserting fairies into the Battle of Bannockburn. Unfortunately, that is the fight you have when you work with a festival. It's about pleasing the people, not educating them. However, part of what we do as a group in some way embodies these people that lived throughout history, whether it is a named scenario with actual written humans that lived and breathed the same air we do now, or made-up characters that embodied jobs, professions that were performed during the time frame of the scenario. This is what we do our best to take seriously. We delve into the world of these people and try to make them human to the modern perspective. Because they were, and we are. How do you do that? How do you step in the shoes of King Edward, King Richard, or Ubba of the Great Heathen Army? How do you convey the humanity behind the eyes of a man or woman or otherwise identified individual who's not only gone, but's been long gone for hundreds of years, if not more? This is where improv comes into play. The topic of this video essay. Though stage combat is certainly a wonderful oeuvre of the reenactment world to engage in, as mentioned in the previous video, it is in no way, shape, or form historically accurate, nor does it really convey any sense of history whatsoever. Your effect books don't cover the Vikings, and your stage combat only gets you so far in relaying a battle scenario like the Romans versus the early Saxons, or even Paleolithic peoples. How do you convey who they were and show people today just how human they were as we are? Well, improv, of course. So what is improvisation? It's basically, to my understanding, the invitation of chaos into the spirit of the performer. It beckons you to crack out of your shell and become a whole other being just for the sake of the show, or sometimes real-life situations. Improv is riffing. It's coming up with something on the spot. Don't think, just speak. Be in the moment and be yourself, or in this case, the person you're cast as. It's freedom of expression to be someone or something else in a moment where all eyes are on you, and it doesn't matter if you fail or succeed, because you just embody wholeheartedly the idea of just going with the flow and becoming who that person is to you. It certainly has helped me come out of my shell from many years of abuse and social anxiety, but there's more to it. In the reenactment world, improv is what should be taught, if not already, because it helps you get into those shoes in their day-to-day life. If I were to be Lancelot, how do you convey him? Improv lessons are something we in our group hold very highly, but yet not in high enough regard. There are games that we play from past and present that help you get into character and loosen your body for the motions of another being, but it also reminds you, as a reenactor, most of what you're doing out on the field or festival ground or living history encampment is just being someone else for other people. It's improv. There are some in the reenactment community and in the group I perform with specifically who shame improv, who outwardly only care about themselves or fighting. The problem is, these people have boring fights because they don't embody the person you're trying to portray. You need improv to fight, to speak, to move. There are people who only care about fighting, and those opinions are valid to them, and I don't judge them for it. There's room for everyone in reenactment, because if one thing isn't your cup of tea, that's okay. Go do something else. There's always something else to do that fits your desire. However, to completely disregard probably the most important facet of living history is a detriment to your ability to live up to your full potential. So, going back to Lancelot. Our group has had 2 improv instructors, one which would run the gamut of games Some were pertinent to becoming your character, or best conveying a job, and other games were questionable and some downright defensive and completely and utterly unnecessary. Not all improv games are best for reenactment, so once you've found some good sources, try to pick and choose what works best for your group and, of course, scenario. Today, we use far less source material and far less games to practice in order to help our newcomers become their new selves. But it's also more finely tuned to what has worked for us as a group. The first thing you need to learn is to let go of yourself. Let go of the past, let go of your frustrations, let go of the shell around you, and let go of your inhibitions as a person who is scared to open to others as a performer, if at least just for the hour. All improv training and lessons and places of play should be safe spaces for all to be comfortable becoming characters and eventually yourselves. There's no room for human rot, no room for judgment, and no room for negativity. Just let it go and let creativity take over. Because once you join the playground, that's when you find who you're going to become. Secondly, you need to have some semblance of understanding of who you are and who you want to be. In character, of course. In this case, we've chosen Sir Lancelot of Arthurian legend. He's often portrayed as a knight, as a lecher, or a nobleman, as a man who succumbed to his foibles, or as the perfect embodiment of chivalry. Ultimately, he's human. You'll want to understand where your center of gravity as this person is. Does Lancelot lead his movements with his chest, his feet, nose, or his knees? What drives him? What scares him? What makes him wake up in the morning and go to bed at night? All questions you'll begin to discover as you further your skills through improv lessons. Our group definitely teaches people how to use their bodies theatrically, how to project across a field, and how to work in a festival setting. But I think part of what gets lost in the gist is the humanity of who we're trying to become. Sometimes I envy the newcomers who decide to just be a job, a profession, blacksmith, monk, fletcher, baker, and perhaps a guard. All these jobs millions of people had, but who had them? How did these people get into these positions and live the lives they did with them? You must find some semblance of humanity to convey that, whether it's introducing a bit of yourself, or our modern concept of the world around us, or maybe stripping back and really trying to get into the shoes of that person. Are you a method actor, or are you just a performer? With the skills and training that improv can gift your reenactment group, you'll find that it will deeply enrich your performance and the perception of you as that person by delving into this wonderful world within freedom of expression. Does your group use improv? Do you have a background in it that you've brought to yours? Is your group just fighters, but you are interested in it? This channel will certainly delve into improv deeper for all of its viewers in future videos, but for the time being, that will be it for this one. Remember, it's okay to play.